shit. Hello, hi. Sorry for the random moth that was bleh. I was wondering what GIF I should put in the corner, or maybe I should be fine with just the text. Hey, how you guys doing? Hopefully I'm coming through okay. It is late, so I'm like quieter. You have food. Of course. Right when I start. So I'm being a little brat. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. My cat was being a brat. Also, hopefully, my slurping sounds of me drinking my water isn't coming through the mic. Because, you need to hydrate before you dehydrate. Let's see. Yay, well, I'm happy you're not missing a live stream. I know this is really super late compared to when I normally do live streams. But I went to bed early and I was super proud of myself, and then my stomach issues came back up. So I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm one of those people, TMI, but when I wake up and I get out of bed, unless I am dead tired, exhausted, even then, it's so hard for me to just lay back down and go to sleep, even if I'm dead tired. It's very rare that I can just right back to sleep. So, I just saw the trailer for Crawl. I'm excited for it. I love, trashy horror movies. So, anybody who's new to these kinds of live streams, these are just, chit chatty hangout. I'm not really doing, well, I'm definitely not doing art right now, but, yeah, we're just hanging out and chatting and stuff, and I guess I can give you guys an update on, kind of my work schedule, because it's a little wonky right now, because this month is really fucking weird. Also, hopefully I'm not, heavy breathing into the mic. I just want to make sure it's reading okay. But this month is going to be wonky, because in the middle, the dead set middle of the month, I'm going to stay with Aerofix for a week because they have car troubles and they need my car. And so, I'm bringing my shit there to work, obviously, but in doing so, I, made a pact, because it's so bad. When Anna and I are together, we, get no work done, and we're both workaholics, so it's, a good and a bad thing, but neither of us can afford to just take a week off, so I'm going to bring my shit with me. I'm not bringing all my monitors. I'm just bringing my laptop and my tablet. And if you guys don't know, I do have a third monitor that was just given to me because the people were like, "Hey, I'm gonna throw this monitor out. Do you want it?" And so it's my bullshit monitor. But yeah, happy Star Wars Day. Oh, it is May the 4th. I didn't think of that. I have to do something for that. I'll probably do it on Instagram or Twitter or something, where I'll do a sketch of a of a Starbucks mermaid. No, my brain. A Star Wars mermaid. Let's see. Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, hey, Nemu Frog. Cool. I still have slots open, so you're good. You're good. Don't worry. Just make sure you follow the rules that I posted on DeviantArt, and you'll be good. Oh god, don't get me started on the Sonic movie stuff. So, I'm taking it as two ways, and only two ways. Hopefully, I'm wrong on both ends, because one sounds worse than the other one. But I was just talking about my work thing. But let me get on the Sonic thing real quick, because someone asked. Alright, so it pisses me off because the second they showed the Sonic poster, months ago, I knew it was going to be a train wreck because I saw that he was in San Francisco. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, why couldn't you just put him in his own world? But the second I also saw it was from Universal, like, I didn't really have my hopes too high. And then the trailer came out, and I was super duper fucking excited. And this is the lesser of two evils, what I'm saying right now. And so, you know, I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh, well, it was all a PR stunt." So, like the leaked poster and the leaked screenshots and the leaked trailer, and not the leaked trailer, but the posted trailer, they're all fake, and we're actually gonna see like what he really looks like. They just did it to grow hype. That's the lesser of two evils that I'm hoping for, is that they actually just they like never intended on this being like the official thing, but that's the highly unlikely one. The more likely one is that since they haven't said that they're pushing the date back, a fuck ton of artists who are under contract, because I have friends who work in the industry, who are under contract, who've already been paid. I don't have friends who've worked on the movie, so that's why I don't know for sure. But I do have friends who work in the animation industry, and they've talked about how like, yeah, if you're under contract and been paid, they can kind of just bring you back, and if you like refuse your contract, they can blacklist you from working on other movies and shit. And so a lot of artists will probably be blackmailed figuratively into working a fuck ton of overtime with no pay to get a entire movie done, because there's no way in less than 6 months you can redo the main character of an entire film without people suffering in some way or another. So I just wanted to see the train wreck. I know it sounds bad, but again, second I saw it was in San Francisco, second I saw it was Paramount, I'm like, this is going to be a train wreck. This is not going to be a like great emotional movie for kids to feel. It's gonna be like fucking Smurfs with Neil Patrick Harris. And I actually I liked those movies, but I didn't like them because they were like super emotional and life changing, is because they were dumb kids movies. So but those are my opinions on the Sonic thing. As for like my updates that I was doing, so my plan is that I'm working on a lot of videos in advance, so you guys can have like constant uploads this month. I want to try to get at least 3 weeks worth of videos done, hopefully by tomorrow, because I actually have a lot of backup audio and I have a lot of like background filmage, because I always think it's smart to have backups on stuff, so that way when I'm at Anna's, at least I don't have to worry about YouTube videos. And then after that, I'm just going to be like sketching like crazy, and then I can focus on other things while I'm there. Which sucks, because like I really wanted May to be like Mermaid, in the sense that like all of my videos I was drawing mermaids, but I didn't have that happen. There is going to be at least one mermaid video where it's a mermaid. I'm going to try to do others, but I can't guarantee it. So be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited because I'm going to be posting just a speed draw of it where I'm not talking, and it's just the process, and then I'm going to like do a talkie over thing. If I don't, well, I'll probably do like a future editing Michi thing where I'm like, oh, hey, this is how I thought about the thing. And then I'll like go into whatever topic I was doing. But yeah, I'm trying to do stuff like that. And there's a couple videos I really want to do, but they're just going to like take time. And I don't have a lot of time to take time because I'm freaking myself out because San Japan is in less than 4 months. And I'm like, and I know like for a lot of people who do cons all the time, that must be like, bitch, 4 months time, that's fucking nothing. And it's like, oh, I don't have a lot of shit, because I don't want to bring back the same stuff I brought last year. I want to bring back all new stuff because I learned so much from San Japan. So that way I'm like, okay, I want to bring all new shit. I want to get everything squared away. Plus I also have that new ID BS I have to worry about. And so I'm just like a little panicky. Do you draw mermaids with fish or whale anatomy? Depends on the mermaid. I'm not picky. Some of them I give male anatomy, some I give fish, some I give snake. Because like, yeah, well, it's not technically a fish. I think it's more aesthetically pleasing and it's the more common one. So, yay, thank you. Love to meet you. I'm about to pass out. Love you guys. Okay, sleep you tight, man. No problem. He whoa. So, yeah, sorry if I sound weird. People always, like, comment whenever I'm, like, just quiet. in videos, and they're like, "Are you okay? You sound so different." I'm just being quiet. Just don't want to wake up my neighbors or my husbands. That's all. So yeah, um, I would love for one of these days to like actually do an official challenge month and like have it, be the way a lot of people I admire do. But in the foreseeable future, it's not gonna happen. Like, I'm so sad I had to put typing up ticks and turns on complete hiatus right now because there's a lot of stuff going on with my editor and just my workload in general, and so I'm like, oh, the joys of your hobbies, trying to monetize them. So, sorry to say, like, I'm not full on saying it's gonna not come out this year, but it's on hold right now, so if by like the halfway mark in a few months, if I haven't done more typing, I'll probably make an update that'll be coming out next year instead, which sucks, but again, I don't make money off of ticks and turns, and I don't want to do a Kickstarter before the book's typed out. I just don't feel comfortable with that. Yeah, the entire thing's fucking written, but it's written on paper. And so I don't want the Kickstarter to happen and then I get paid for it and then the book not be done, because I feel like that would just give me more anxiety. I'd rather have the shit done and just be like, okay, it's done, guys. All the pages are typed out and edited and good, and the cover is good, and then we'll just get it printed. I love you and your art. Thank you. That's why I'm pulling an all-nighter working on my not safe for work comics. Yeah, see, even more credit to like comic artists, I swear, because a lot of people are like, when are you gonna make a comic? And I'm like, not anytime soon. I just don't have the time. Unlike a lot of artists, not like in a cocky way, but because my income is so diversified, I can't just afford to focus on one thing. Like, you'll see a lot of hobbyists who they also have day jobs on top of being hobbyists and YouTubers and stuff. And so they'll be like, yeah, it's easy in that case. It's just like being a writer full time, People are like, oh, well, Sarah J. Maas can write a book in a year. I'm like, yeah, because that's her job. If I was paid to do solely one thing, you bet your ass it wouldn't be bad. But I have to diversify, or else I would go nuts, and I would definitely not make enough to survive. So also, if you guys have any questions or anything you want like my opinions on, feel free. This is all about the chit chattiness. So it's a lot of effort depending on what you're going for. Yeah. Happy Star Wars Day, it's also my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Silverluck. Happy birthday. Yeah, that's why I totally give, again, Vero Vetracy? You guys know me and usernames. Give you all the credit for working on a not safe for work comic, including the fact that it's not safe for work and it's a comic, because drawing the lewds is not as easy as it could be. No, it's another thing. Shit, I forgot I have two zine things I need to work on too. At least I have those thumbed out, so that won't be too bad. But it's just like, so much stuff. Like, fun fact, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about trying to see if, like, around where I live, I could get, like, a part-time job somewhere, just to, like, kind of help ease the stress a little bit. And the only issue with that is, to even warrant it, I'd have to make sure I'd make a set number of hours, and a couple of places I've interviewed at have all given me the, like, oh, well, part-time is what you earn. And I was like, what does that mean? And they told me, they were like, well, if you're good, you'll get more hours. If you're bad, you won't get a lot of hours. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't guarantee that. I have to warrant losing a thing to do this thing. But let's see. Have you read Calvin and Hobbes, or at least heard of it? Yeah, I read Calvin and Hobbes as a kid. My dad loved Calvin and Hobbes. So, what are your opinions on background environment art? You mean like people who do landscapes and stuff? Or Do you mean like actually being in someone's like a healthy like background while creating the art? If that's okay, if you could specify. Did I cut out? Hopefully I didn't cut out. Kiwo! Oh, hey Lily, how you doing? But yeah, that was just something that I've been thinking on. Let's see. I've been recently writing down ideas for the creepy short story I want to have done by next year instead of diving headfirst into writing an actual story first. That's a smart idea. That's a smart idea. I think the most interesting thing is what people are going to pay for. That is true. That is extremely true about working on the internet. I'm good. Yourself? I'm good. I'm good. Just, I was going to be up for a bit, and I felt like doing this. Any tips on how to do commissions? Let's see. Sorry for the annoyed sigh. I get that question all the time. I'm not trying to sound like a bitch or anything. I'm like half thinking, I'm like, Anna, we should just redo that commission info video because a lot of people haven't seen it and I get questions all the time, but pretty much the basic thing about being a commission artist is the number one thing I think I can like try to beat into people's heads is that art is a luxury and you need to understand that it's a luxury if you're going to turn this into your job, because there are a lot of artists out there who have amazing art. They have amazing art. They put a lot of they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into their art. And so then they'll have their stuff be priced really, really high, and they won't have a big following, and they're surprised on their fucking accent, and they're surprised they don't get a lot of commissions, and it's not because of their art skill, because there are people with higher level skill and lower level skill. There are people who, personally, I feel like there are some people out there whose skill level is a lot lower than mine and a lot higher than mine. And this isn't in a jelly way. I need to emphasize that because there's shit going around right now because of that. Where there's some people I know who their skill level is way under mine, and they're making fuck tons of cash just because they know who to network to, they have the following, they're consistent, and they're fast. It's one of those things. And then you'll have people who have a higher skill level than me, who never get commissioned, and their shit's totally worth it and super duper amazing, but people don't want to spend that money, and the thing is too, you're going to get people, especially starting out, you're going to get people taking advantage of you. That's something I learned firsthand. Was when I started out, my shit was so low priced that I had people coming to me because my shit was low priced. There was no other reason besides my shit was lower priced than the average person at the time. So they were like, oh, and that's when I would get taken advantage of because I wanted to be nice, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll redraw it, I'll color it again, and I ended up getting screwed over by it. And so I had to, raise my prices as my skill level got up, and I had to do this and that. And while my watcher base and everything did grow with it, it's because I didn't give up. A lot of people who start commissions, a lot of the time, if they don't get orders, they'll get a little salty, and then they don't want to post as much art because they're like, well, I'm not getting paid for it. And then they're not growing. So you need to understand that if you don't get commissions, it's not going to kill you. Because there are also a lot of people out there who they open up for commissions because they don't want to finger quote get a real job. And I'm saying a real job, not that art isn't a real job, but there's a big difference between working on something for 5 minutes and, going to a shift somewhere. Especially if you haven't put a lot of time and effort into your skill level or your ability to understand things, whether it be networking, whether it be coloring, whether it be this and that. They kind of see it as like an easy job. But then those people usually get burnt out really fucking fast. And so when you do that, I feel like you need to understand your following. You need to have a physical commission sheet, make a commission sheet. I'm updating mine right now. I haven't had time to do it because I want to redo my pictures, but have a physical sheet, because while I hate to say it, a lot of people are dumb and a lot of people won't read. And so you got to like actually show them in their face, because people don't want to read. I can't tell you how many times I will have like my basic info on the sheet, and except for like this most recent time because I opened up without a sheet, but I would be like, email me at this address, and I would still get notes and stuff. And when I didn't say like note or DM here, and then they'd be like, hi, I want a commission. And then I'm like, okay, well, did you read my TOS? And then they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, what do you want? And they don't fill out the form that I set up. They didn't read the TOS. They didn't read the rules, and they didn't read the pricing. Because I'll tell them the price once everything's done, and I get it. And they're like, oh, I thought it could be like $10. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. And they're like, well, could you lower the price? And I'm like, no, I can't, because then I'd have to lower it for everybody else, And like, I've had some people, because they're never fucking open about it. I've had some people nag me on DMs and stuff where they're like, well, you give patrons discounts. And I'm like, yeah, because they're patrons. They're already paying to support me. So they get discounts on this stuff. It has nothing, like, yes, they do get special treatment because they are paying me. It's like one of those, you do kind of have to favor one over the other, and it's not a bad thing. It's just basic business, which is another thing. If you want to do this as a business, you need to treat it as a business. You can't treat it, if you want it to be your business, you can't treat it as a hobby anymore. It has to be a business. And you can have a hobby that is also a business, but if you want to be serious about it and expand and do more like I do, you and a lot of other people do, and a lot of people I know do, you need to treat it as such. I love your videos. I listen to them when I crochet. Can I ask how you feel about people who think art doesn't help heal people? Oh, I think it's bullshit. There's no nice way to say it. I think it's bullshit. Because a big reason why I do what I do is, yes, I love it, but I've always been a people pleaser, and not in the like, well, yeah, when I was younger, it was in the weak-willed way because I wanted people to like me. But as I got older and I kind of stopped giving a fuck about that, my big turning point was when I was a teacher's aide. My biggest turning point, because those were kids who were genuinely grateful and genuinely changed because of me. Like, not to toot my own horn, but when I was a TA and we'd get kids who would misbehave and were little shits, because they were little shits, and they didn't know how to read, write, hold a pencil, do anything. And then they leave, being able to like write sentences and do math and be actually happy. Like, I had this one student, he was super, super sweet. And I would always get cold hands, and I'd always be like, I don't want to say cracking my knuckles because I never could do that, but I'd always be like moving my fingers because I always had bad blood flow. And so for Christmas time, he bought me like a pair of like 99-cent gloves that this little kindergartner bought with his allowance. And he was like, here, because you always say your hands get cold. And I was like, oh, my heart, you're so innocent, thank you. I'm sad I lost those gloves in my move, but it's like one of those things, and it genuinely helps people. It helps kids. And so that's why I wanted to be a teacher for the longest time. And then, as I got older, I saw when I was doing commissions and my stuff was getting bigger, people were genuinely getting happy looking at my stuff. And that made me happy, making other people happy. And one of the biggest things is honestly getting to meet like you guys. At San Japan, I was so surprised how many people knew who I was. And, like, they brought me fan art. They talked to me. They were super sweet. And I was like, oh, my God, I actually changed people's lives. I know that sounds super cocky, but, like, I'm never going to forget that sweet girl who, like, told me because of my video she got the confidence to come out to her parents. Because to me, that is, like, the biggest accomplishment I think I've ever had in my life. It feels like forever since I've seen you go live. Oh, hey, Goku, how you doing? I know. It's because I fixed my sleep schedule. It's like I can't fix my sleep schedule because then everything goes wrong. I get annoyed when people will offer to sponsor your art instead of wanting to pay for you. No, just no. Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. And it okay, quick Michi rant. Cause I guess all right, so I don't really keep up to date with like Tana Mongoose and shit. Sorry if you're any Tana Mojo fans out there. I'm not a fan of her. But I guess there's this thing going around where Tana Mojo like paid a makeup artist in exposure because I listened to a couple of like drama channels and stuff and they were talking about that and I'm like, bitch, you're a fucking millionaire, come the fuck on. Is that real? If this is real, you're even more of a trash person than I kind of thought you already were. Because when you literally are a millionaire and you get in a show on MTV, you can afford to pay your fucking makeup artist, you can afford to pay your artist. It's why like I don't feel so bad when I see smaller channels doing like art contests for merch because I actually applied for one because there is a smaller channel I really, really, really like. And I applied for their art contest. And their compensation was something like $50, which is, it is under my commission pricing for what I did. But I was like, they're a smaller channel. They're trying out. This isn't the same thing. If a like Game Grumps did the same thing and then was like, yeah, we'll pay the artist like $50, I'm like, I'm not saying they would, because Game Grumps is always great with their artists, so I'm not shitting on Game Grumps, but it'd be one of those like, no, you can pay people. Don't do that. Don't say that you're gonna pay them an exposure when you can pay them. You should do both. That's my opinion. If you have a big platform, you should do both. You shouldn't do one or the other. I was confused because it's late night, and so it's like, oh shit, hey, someone from Switzerland. That's so cool. I don't know. It's always neat when I when I talk to people who are in like other countries because I do want to travel someday. So, yeah, for me right now, it's like 1 a.m. Let's see. Been pretty busy with life, but I'm in a better situation, so now I can finally come back to be a patron this Monday. Yay! Hey, but no problem. Like, it's not. Don't feel like you have to, man. But yay, thank you, that will help. Let's see. Oh yeah, people never read my patron shows when I send rewards, and still to this day I always get questions asking where they are and what I'm giving out. Yeah, see, exactly. This is why you read before you sign. No, exactly. That's why you always, if you're doing any kind of contract or any kind of thing, you like read everything with a fine-tooth comb, especially if they're a bigger influencer than you. I am from Sweden. Oh shit, cool. Yeah, I know Goku lives in oh shit. Okay, you either live in New Zealand or Australia, and I can't remember which one. Because you were a patron before. Armani! Ah, my fifis! I will be having new stuff in my Etsy store, though, because oh no, that's what I have to do too. When that package comes, I have to do the unboxing for Holly. Cause Holly is sending me stuff, and she like actually like Holly did a Holly, and she like aesthetically fancied the box for my charms, and so I want to do an unboxing because that's how they're gonna look like when she sends them off to people for her. But I am also paying her, so it's not like it's like, oh, you're getting this shit for free because you're friends. She tried pulling that shit with me, and I'm like, nah, bitch, I'm fucking paying you. Stop it. You work hard. You deserve the money. Oh my god, yes, I love watching. Oh, you guys flatter me. Like, when people tell me that they like listening to me in the background when they draw, it makes me, like, no joke, blush because I do that shit with other people. So, I'm happy that you guys can enjoy that. But yeah, that's the pain, is if somebody's like, dude, I legit miss you guys. No. But no, trust me, I get this shit all the time. Like, I'll make like a journal or a tweet or a post where I'm like, hey, if you want refunds, DM me, I'll send you refunds, it's been a while. And then I won't get anything. And then like 3 months later, I'll be like, why haven't you set up my refund? And I'm like, I asked you to contact me, please. And then I'll send them their refund, and then they'll be like, well, you should have done this before. And I'm like, I've offered it 4 months. I know it's taken a while, and I'm sorry, but I've been updating people. That's something I've always prided myself on, is I let people know if I'm like slow on stuff or if I'm fast on stuff or if you need refunds. Don't shoot the messenger when the info's in front of your face. I can't draw without some background noise. Yeah, no, same. It's so hard for me to draw in like dead silence. Shit, I need to set up the draw meet. Because I already have an area, a Long Beach one. So if anybody lives in Long Beach, it's going to be in a park in Long Beach. I just don't know which one yet. Because I want to find a park where people don't have to pay for parking. Because I think it's kind of bullshit, for a public park for people to pay for parking. But I also want to like actually go to the park beforehand. So that way I can like make sure it's also safe. Because some parks can have a really bad homeless problem. And a couple people were asking me why I wasn't doing it at cafes. And because a lot of people, when they do draw meets, they'll do it at like mom and pop cafes. And the only reason I'm not doing it at a cafe is because I don't personally know any cafes or cafe owners to do one. Because I don't want to do one, and then a lot of people show up, and then people don't buy coffee. Because that will happen at a lot of draw meets, is they'll go to like a draw meet to meet somebody, and they won't buy anything, and they're there for hours. And they're just kind of like taking up the business's space, and I don't think that's right. So that's why I'm like, yeah, public park. That way it's not bad. And the only one losing money is me, because I'm gonna... Obviously, I can't do it for everybody because I don't know who's gonna be there, but I am gonna bring like a case of water and soda and like some snacks and stuff because I want it to be fun. Don't have a set date yet, but it is gonna be in Long Beach, and it's most likely gonna be this month. I just have to find time to go to one of the parks, check it out, and pick a date with like my husband and my friends, because I want to make sure we can all be together so I'm not by myself. To Long Beach for a comp engine. Hey, well, that's cool. Hope you have fun in your competition. Laughs and not American. I don't get that your friend's family get art for free. Like, as soon as a buddy starts commissioning, I no longer expect free art. Well, okay, so you shouldn't expect free art, but like, don't pay for a gift if it is a gift, if that's if that makes any sense. Because I have had some people like who don't have a lot of money, they'll like give me gift art for gifts. You don't have to get me gifts. I'm not saying this is like, oh my god, get me fucking gifts. But then they'll, I wouldn't then give them money for that, because that is a gift. It's not exactly a job. They did that because they wanted to do it. Now, it's also I like doing, I haven't done one in so long, but like art trades and stuff, But yeah, no, if a friend's open for commissions and I want to get a commission, I'm going to throw money at them because I like supporting people, But yeah, don't expect free art. That did happen once. I had this friend who, this was so rude. Okay, this is a rude story time. It's a quick one though. I had this friend who I used to draw gift art for like every year. And they would buy me a birthday gift too, and it was kind of like a copacetic thing because we didn't live together, so we always like mail each other the stuff, and it was cool. And one year I like messaged them and I was like, "Hey man, I can't do it this year. I'm so sorry." And they were like, "Yeah, cool, okay, but don't expect me to get you a birthday gift either." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I never expected a birthday gift. I always just took it as a nice gesture, not a trade," but happy to know. And I never talked to that person like literally ever again after that. I've had people tell me that I owe them money for a gift. Oh, Armani, that's fucking dumb. You don't owe people money for a gift. It's a fucking gift. My hide got diagnosed with ASD. What's ASD? If that's okay, Goku. What is ASD? I don't know what that is. Yeah, see, there you go. Like, you can do that all the time. Like, hell, again, me and my friends end up commissioning each other, like, all the fucking time, or we'll do trades or something, like, or they're fucking Morgan, where they're a beast speed meester, and then it's like, oh, I got this funny idea, I'll draw him something, and then he's like, too late, I already drew you something, and I'm like, you bitch. Autistic spectrum disorder. Oh, okay. Well, I hope everything's okay with that. Ooh. You seem to be taking it well, so that makes me happy. Wow, what the fuck, that's not how that works. That's not gifts. Jesus Christ. I've had people do that too, like, not to me, but I've seen people do that where they'll be like, okay, you want this thing that I'm gonna be nice and get for you? Well, you gotta work for it. And if you don't work for it, I'm gonna guilt trip you. Oh my god, that was shit I had to deal with all the fucking time a while ago, where it would be like, you couldn't say no to whatever they asked because they'd be like, oh, well, I did this and this. And it's like, okay, well then don't do that and that if you're just gonna hold it over my head. It's not, generosity to hold something over somebody's head. Like, oh, okay. Another story. So I had this friend where there was a long time, a long time where I didn't have a lot of money. Like things were really tight. I'm not saying I'm like swimming in cash now, but they were really tight back then. And I remember my friend wanted to go out to eat. And I was like, hey, I can't really afford to go out to eat. My friend was like, oh, hey, man, no big deal. I'll treat you. And I was like, oh, thanks. And they did treat me, and it was a big thing. And then for their birthday, I took them out as a return gift because I had the money and I wanted to treat them. But so I'd already treated them. And then a few months later after that, they were having a hard time with money. And so I offered very nicely because I had money and I was like, hey, I'll pitch in for your food, whatever. And my friend was like, yeah, you could do that because I pay for your food a lot. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, you offered to buy me food once when we didn't have to go. Like, I was totally fine just hanging out. We didn't have to go out. You knew I didn't have the money. And I took you out for your birthday as a thank you. And then you pull like, oh yeah, well I buy your shit. It's like, no, you bought me food once. And I paid you back for it. It's kind of a dick move. Oh, family friends. Yeah, that's one thing I am happy about. My family's never been like that, but I do have some extended branches who are like, hey, I'm trying to do this like thing. Can you like promote me? And I'm like, well, no, because I don't agree with your work ethic. Like, yeah, I like promoting people and I love doing shout outs and shit like that with people who I feel like deserved it. But there are some people who have asked me where I'm just like, I can't, I'm sorry. And I've told them very nicely, I'm like, listen, I don't agree with your work ethic. Because, once you get to a certain point, you do have to look out for yourself as well, and if you put your name out there and you recommend somebody who has really bad work ethic or is like a trash person, that is going to go back on you, and it's not like in the selfish way, because some people will take it as a like, oh, well then you don't want to promo anyone, you don't want to, it's like, no, don't be that either, don't be the Schmeagle, don't be Schmeagle and want to hoard shit, where it's like, oh, well, if I promote other people, then people won't want to see my stuff. So I'm just gonna not promote people because mine. And then it's like, yeah, and then you're not gonna go very far, But in the same vein, don't be like, yes, please step all over me and use all of my hard work to, just boost yourself to the top, where you don't want to work hard to do that. You gotta find a good middle ground. Find a middle ground from the doormat to Schmeagle. Go for that middle ground. Vampire Neko Edge. Oh, hey, Vampire Neko. Thank you, by the way, thank you so much for the sweet fan art of Cheshire. It gave me a lot of fifis. I love Michi's evil money hoarder mind. Yay, I'm so happy. I love making stupid, like, accents and voices, so when people like my stupid shit, it makes me happy. Yeah, see, that's a good idea, Julia. See, that's totally something you could do too. Like, there's also, oh my god, okay, so like, there are other people I know where I have some friends who they have amazing fucking art skill. Amazing fucking art skill. But they don't want to do art as their job. They've openly said they don't want to do art as their job. And I totally give them that. They don't want to do it as their job. They just want to do it for fun. That shit's good. They only want to do commissions every 8 months or something, and they'll open up for like a couple slots because they want to just work on their own shit. That's fine too. But I'll have people who will be like, oh yeah, I know you're friends with that artist. Do you think you could buddy with them? Because I have this like comic idea, or I have this like this visual novel idea that I want to do with them. And I'm like, oh, well, here's their TOS. You can message them. But they don't do stuff very often. It's like, oh, well, if I pay, it's like, it doesn't matter. The artist always has the right to say no. I believe in hard work get you to your goals. I completely agree. Like, that's something else I want to bring up. A lot of people seem to think that, like, I've only been doing this for a couple years. This is one thing that does irritate me. This is a little thing that does irritate me. My YouTube blowing up has helped exponentially, and I'm not going to say it doesn't, because it has. It has helped me so much and meet so many amazing people, but I would still be making this stuff even if I had, back when I had like 1,000 subscribers, I remember because I made that one video and then I went from like 500 to 10,000 overnight, and I was just like, what happened? And in that happening, that was luck. That was. But it was a fact that it was a video that I really wanted to talk about and I really wanted to do, and then other people found me through other videos, and it went on through there, which is why, like, doing stuff like thumbsing and liking and commenting, when you hear people say, because I do think it's annoying, it's why I don't like saying in my videos, like, like, comment, and subscribe, because, like, I think it's annoying, but it does help with, the stupid algorithm and promotion, But I've been doing commissions and I've been doing art for years up to that point. Up to that point, I've been doing it full time for probably, that was around 2017. Yeah, like, I was doing it full time for about 4 years, and then I was doing it even longer than that, where it just wasn't my job, where I was just doing it all the time. So, like, it does take a lot of hard work, That's another thing, too, is, like, there are some artists I see at cons every year who they've been doing this shit, and they've been working their asses off for, like, 20 years. It's not a you're gonna blow up overnight thing. It's just not. I mean, unless you do some really clickbaity, like, algorithm-y stuff, then you probably will. But it's a lot of hard work. I actually found you through Holly, not the video that made you up. Oh, hey, that's cool. I know a lot of people found, like, me through... Funny enough, a lot of, like, my patrons have told me they found me through, like, my friend Aerofix's video back when we did podcasts together, which we only did, like, 2. I want to do more, and she wants to do more, too. We just don't know what to do them on for topics. So, who knows? Maybe we'll do one of those while I'm over there. Do a podcast a year. Ugh. I'm so sad. I love doing podcasts. Podcasts were so much fun. They, like, seriously were so much fun. I was just, honestly, with, like, the book rambles, like, I was going to do it again, the book rambles again. I was going to do it with Holly, but both of our lives just went down the shitter, like, right when we were going to do it. And so it's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I don't really want to do, like, a book podcast by myself. I do like bouncing off of other people. But the thing is, I've been in a bad reading rut, and I think it's because I've been writing. I've just been, like, not interested in reading. But, okay. This is something I'm excited for. So, earlier today, or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this, Jeremy Scott of CinemaSins announced that he's finally making a sequel to The Ables, and I'm, like, so happy. That is one of my top 10 books. Was Jeremy Scott's The Ables. It's a middle grade book, but it hit me so hard, and it's such a fast read. and it's totally great. It has to do with a superhero world where the main characters are disabled superhero kids, and it's like not done as like an SJW gimmicky thing. Like that's just these are kids who are disabled who happen to have superpowers in this superpowered world. I have to say that because like while I am very liberal, there is such a thing as like wokeonomics, and this is not a wokeonomic book. I totally recommend people read the fucking Ables because I think it's amazing. And so he's like, "Yeah, I'm making a second one in a comic," and I'm like, "Yeah!" I'm so excited. I know it's dumb, but I never thought I would get a sequel because it was a one-off, and so I'm like really stupid excited for that. Bye, Goku. Let's see. I found you through when I was going through Art Rambles Marathon. Just watch different rambles from different artists. Oh, well, thank you. Let's slap that like button with the power of God and anime. Yay! Well, that makes me happy. That does make me happy. I found Michi from it. Really? You found me from Instagram? That's so weird. Like, not a bad thing. Not a lot of people, like, come to me from other platforms. Thank you, though, Xanax Tucker. Hey, letting you know I'm a patron again. Oh, wait, really? You became patron again? Hold on. I thought you said it was going to be some time before you could pledge again. Don't break the bank, Lily. I fucking go to it now. My computer fan's like, why? Oh, well, thank you, Lily. I found you from your artist can scam. Yeah, that was the video that blew up. That was my first video that blew up. The second one that was like really, really big for my channel was the work horror. Was it work horror stories? It was the one where I talked about my teaching experience. Teacher's aide. Okay, I didn't have my degree. I wasn't a teacher. I was a teacher's aide. But I know that was like the second big one. Well, thank you, Lily, for being a patron. That means a lot. I do mean it. It does help. This like Patreon does help support me. I don't just use it as like a joke. It does help a lot. What time is it there? It is 1 in the morning. 1:30. 4 p.m. in Australia. Yep, that's because Armani is best pimp. But you guys should totally check out Armani, because Armani has amazing art too. She does good shit. Armani does really, really good shit. Karina, you live in California? Did I already know that and I'm just being like dumb and I'm having a brain fart moment? Yeah, Armani's gotta pimp everybody out. I am happy though. I know that my buddy Pastel, I used to do Friday night streams with her. She's gonna be able to do stuff again soon, and I'm like super excited about that. The one of Anna video talking about how someone called her. Oh yeah, no, it's so funny because like I was gonna make a video on that too because I've had that happen to me too, and then I'm like, nah, Anna did it. I'm fine. I don't need to do it too, because it's literally the same points. It wasn't the same person, but I have had people message me about like Alador. Fuck. They messaged me about Adrian and Lorelai and a couple of my other characters where they're like, oh my god. What, like, okay, this is gonna sound really racist, but it's a racist fucking comment they said. They were like, why is it that Adrian is supposed to be Mexican, but she has such dark skin? And I'm like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Like, you know that everybody comes in all different shades of color, right? Right? Fucking racist? And then I'd had people telling me too that because like I didn't give Lorelai like a fucking afro, that was racist. When I'm like, oh, that makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. People can't have different fucking hairstyles when they live in a magical world. I don't fucking know. No pimping me out, Michi. No, I will pimp you out all I want. Yeah, I'm in SoCal. Oh, cool. Hopefully you can go to the draw meet when I eventually post up shit for it. Oh no, I'm sorry you ruined your coat. Let's see, do you have any advice on getting into reading writing? I used to do it, but a family member destroyed my confidence, and I know I can find my way back, but I cut them out. Let's see, I think a good, like, jumping off point and getting back into reading again if you've had a hard time is get into audiobooks. Hashtag not sponsored, but Audible. Please give me an affiliate code. I have been subscribed to you and paid for your shit since like 2012. I love you, Audible. Give me a code. But yeah, no, Audible's great. I also found out that if you have an American library card, you can download an app for your library, and they will have free audiobooks you can rent out, like a library book from your phone. This is a thing. If you have a library card, so you can get into audiobooks for free with the app at your local library. I have a friend who literally, like, he is a huge bibliophile, and he's also a college kid, so he doesn't have a lot of money. So he actually, like, he will go to different libraries, which he actually does visit and do for school. So he has, like, 3 different libraries he can do audiobooks for. So if you can't afford Audible, I do say do Audible if you can't afford it, because then you are supporting the voice actors for it, you know? And in doing that, you will be able to, like, help support them. But if not, local library. Go support your local library. It should be free to get a library card, or if it's not, it should be like $1 or $2. My friends and I are excited for the draw meet. Yay! That's gonna be fun. Okay. Yeah, extreme people tend to forget their different hair types. Hey. Do it to prove them wrong, bud. There's a guess, yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean, it's just... I'm sorry that I didn't make my characters racist stereotypes. Like, hello? Because, fun fact about me, I don't like stereotypes. Just at all. I don't like any kind of stereotype. I guess you could say I'm racist. I'm racist against, like, hardcore stereotypes. I'm not comfortable around stereotypical people. Yes, everybody make Armani blush because Armani is good pimp. Like, I'm sorry to say that my hair isn't naturally bright ass fucking red. You know, it's there's certain things that just don't make sense to some people. Oh, bye. I'm still here. Just Oh, it completely does. It's why I get people, like, it's like the Tumblr post, straight people should not write gay people. Oh, yeah, exactly. I completely 100% agree. Like, trust me, that can be a whole rant on its own that I might do someday. But I want to, like, collect my thoughts and not get heated, because I always get heated when people use that excuse of, like, oh, you're a cis white person, you can only write cis white characters, and I'm like, what logic is that? Especially when you're making a fantasy story. I do understand, to some degree, I do understand if you're trying to make, like, a biopic or historically accurate thing that has to do where race is the most important part of it, or orientation is the most important part of what you are writing, and it is factual, not fiction, then you should, unless I'm getting those two mixed up, you know, then I feel like you should do a fuck ton of research. Like, I think any kind of writer should do a fuck ton of research. But, by that logic, you can never write a story about mermaids. You can never write a story about fairies. You can never write a story about vampires, because unless you are a vampire, a fairy, or a werewolf, or whatever, then you can't write those stories. That's literally how you sound, in my opinion. Which is why, like, one of my, like, author, like, one of my author, like, an authors I admire, I had to, like, think of how to properly word it, is I do love George R.R. Martin, because people have asked him, like, oh my god, how is it that you how is it that you write gay people and women so well? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I kind of always thought of them as people. And it's like, yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, hell, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I'll make jokes sometimes. Like, I've openly talked about, like, the white person shimmy and shit like that. Like, those are fine. I think those are fine, but, like, there are, like, funny jokes. You can do stuff like that. But once it, like, becomes once it becomes offensive and insulting, it's not funny anymore. People think I'm Jewish because I'm studying military. It's okay. I was raised Jewish, and even though I'm not, I don't consider that my religion anymore. A lot of my friends still make Jew jokes, but, like, in a joking way. They don't say, like, fucked up Jew jokes. Exactly. All you can write is yourself, and then if all you write is yourself and what you know, then you're conceited. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. It's okay. People, like, I've had people get pissed off because my last name is Mexican now, and then they're like, well, your husband's not Mexican. I'm like, yeah, he is. He just looks like a white guy. He's Mexican. Like, he actually has family, like, from Mexico. He's not 100% Mexican, but, like, calm down, people. But yeah, there's a lot of people. Now, I do feel, okay. Just make the character a character, and don't make their sexuality, their skin color, or their gender personality traits. That's, like, the really big thing that's been going on right now, which has kind of been, like, an issue, because I've been reading a lot of books I've been dipping out of. Like, I used to never dip out of books. Even if it was a bad book, I would, like, power through and finish it, but I've gotten to the point where I'm seeing a lot of people who are doing wokenomics. And you might be asking, what's wokenomics? And it's where, like, you're throwing in diversity for diversity's sake. By that, you're not throwing it, like, they're not people, they are their diversity. And it's one of those, like, I was reading a book, I'm not going to name what it is, because I know some people really like it. But there was a book I was reading where they had, like, a gender fluid character show up. And the character had no reason to the plot, had no impact on any of the main characters. It literally popped in and out, and I remember being like, why is that there? And then people have tried to argue, like, well, it's because representation is important. I'm like, no, but in a storytelling sense, an editor will be like, okay, it wouldn't matter who this character is. You would cut them out because they have nothing to do with the story. You are literally stopping the flow to be like, hi, I'm a gender fluid character, bye, and then just leave, and it's like... And then they can slap, like, now it's an LGBTQIA plus book. And it's like, but it's not. You just threw a character in there for no reason that has no point into the plot. Or I've seen it where they would make a character, they'd make a character trans. And not that there's anything wrong with trans characters, but I'm like, oh, okay, is this going to help the plot? Is it going to help understand the character? No, it's a character that shows up for a chapter, and you have to keep reminding us the character's trans. Because that's what would happen. I read the book where they were introducing their, like, finger quote, best friend, but the best friend had no effect on the plot, and they would openly be like, yeah, Tom was actually Tammy growing up, and now it goes, now he goes by Tom, and it's like, okay, cool. What's Tom gonna do? Like, is Tom gonna help the main character? Because like it made no sense because it was like a murder mystery story, the one I'm talking about right now, and I'm like, okay, so is Tom gonna help you? Is that gonna like, is it no? He's just literally the gay side character because they also made Tom gay, and Tom was just a fake name. I didn't use the real character's name, but it was like. And then, like, they showed up, like, halfway through the book, because I'm like, wait, where the fuck is Tom? Like, Tom's supposed to be your best friend. Where the fuck is Tom? Where's Tom? And then Tom showed back up, and I'm like, is it going to be some twist where Tom was the killer? Like, no. And then Tom, like, popped back in. And then, again, the author had to remind the reader that Tom was trans, and I'm just like, why does that matter? Unless it has to do with something with the plot, it should not matter. Yes, exactly. That's a good way of saying it, Julia. Don't write an X character, write a character that happens to be X. That is exactly how it should be. Oh, see, that's good. I didn't watch a lot of the Shadowhunter TV show. I watched a couple of it. I watched a couple episodes and I did like it. Wait. What do you think about this thing a lot of artists are doing where they're turning Japanese characters into black people? I know it's for diversity and stuff, but isn't that racist too? Oh, wait. Do you mean race-bending characters? Like when... Because... Are you mean when people, like, they'll draw, like, Sailor Moon, but they'll put her in, like... They'll make her, like, Muslim, where they'll give her, like, a headdress and stuff? Is that what you're talking about? Because, I mean, I don't personally see a problem with it when it's, like, fan art and stuff. I think it's pretty. I don't see there's any... To me, I don't see there's a problem with it. Personally, I don't care in that case. Because I've seen people do it where they'll make characters black, they'll make them Muslim, they'll do this and that. I have no problem with that. I really, I don't care about that. What I do care about is when they take a character that is, like, their race is important to the story, like, it's brought up or they're made fun of because of it, and then they change it for no reason, and then they change it for a monetary reason. That bothers me. That bothers me because there was a reason for their race being there besides it just being there. It's why, like, just I'll just compare it to my own shit. Like, my marked mages, they're all over the damn place because they get reincarnated all the time. So it doesn't matter what race they are, they're a mage. If someone wanted to race bend a character, I don't really care. I mean, they could, go ahead, go crazy. But it doesn't make it canon, But if, like, someone's doing that and then making money off of it, I'd get a little insulted. Oh, I used to like Hetalia, like, when it first came out, when I was a weeb in high school. And then as it got, like, more and more offensive, I couldn't watch it anymore. Yeah, if it's not harming people, there's no problem with it. Exactly, that's how I feel. You're not hurting anybody. Yeah, I never liked the first Shadowhunter books. I never actually read the more so the original movie. I did read the Clockwork Angel series, the one that took place in Victorian England. I really liked that one. And I liked that because it was a trilogy that stood on its own. And I tried reading the Dark Artifices? I can never say it. The next one that came out after that. And I fucking hated it. So I'm like, okay. I liked the Clockwork Angel series. Jem is best guy. But other than that, no, I hated it. And that has a diverse fucking cast and no one fucking talks about it. But in the opposite way, people say that it's whitewashing. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I just don't think... No, I can agree with that. I think that, like, if one's okay, the other should be okay. Like, when people draw the, like, Steven Universe people, and they race bend them, but then I'll see people race bend them the other way around. I'm like, it should go both ways. If one's okay, they're all okay. To me, it's kind of like comedy. It's, the rule of thumb is either everything's funny or nothing is. That's kind of how I feel. You can't pick and choose. Just like how there are certain words out there that I am very much not comfortable saying, but because I'm not comfortable saying it doesn't mean that other people should have the right taken away to say that thing, because I feel like actions have consequences. So you have every right to say whatever the fuck you want, but if you get attacked for it, don't be surprised. Because actions have consequences. Wait. People be rude towards Black or Indian Native American and be mad at me for being angry because I'm pale, but then they see my little brother and they just shut up. Wait, what? Can you reword that, Vampire Neko? I'm just confused. Oh, really? I don't know much about the author other than, like, she apparently got famous writing fan fiction first. So that's all I know about Cassandra Clare. Oh my god, okay, that makes me mad. I have seen people do that, where people will be like, oh my god, you lightened the this character's skin color to match an aesthetic, and I'm like, yeah, it was to match an aesthetic. It doesn't matter. It was to match the overall flow of the picture. As someone who loves doing bright, vibrant, colored shit, sometimes some colors don't look good together when they're the truest form. That's why you gotta fuck with the saturation so you can get the mood of the picture right. Yeah, like I've got no problem with like gender bending either. Again, as long as it's not fucking insulting, I don't think there's a problem to it. Oh shit, tablet, come back. Come on. Come on, tablet. Come back to life. There we go. Oh, my back. I think that happened with... I know it's happened with, like, every kind of fandom. Oh no, I completely agree. I hate that too. When they gender bend one partner in a relationship for fetishes. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's gross. Okay, and another thing I think is really fucking gross, and people can at me, but I don't like when people ship like real life actors together. That freaks me out. When people pair like Jensen Ackles and what's his name? The guy who played Castiel from Supernatural together. And like when they draw fan art, they like make them like anatomically correct to look like those two guys, and I'm just like, oh, that creeps me out. Or the fact like a lot of people will draw like Iron Man and Tony Stark. Iron Man is Tony Stark, Michelle, you fucking fake nerd. Iron Man and Captain America together, but they make them look like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and I'm like, see, you can ship them when they're in like their comic booky form and they don't look like the actual actors. Then it freaks me out. Misha Collins, that was it. What the heck is Swamp Thing? Do you mean the alligator movie or Swamp Thing, like a new thing I didn't know about? Misha Collins, that's his name. When people ship YouTubers. Yeah! No, that's another thing. Okay, like, I do not like it when people ship YouTubers together. Especially when they'll, like, get salty if they break up. I remember that happened to a couple of YouTubers I watched years ago. I'm not gonna out them. But I know they were pretty big YouTubers and they were, like, in relationships. And people would, like, draw them in their relationships. And then it would come up they broke up. And people would be salty that, like, their OTP died. And I'm like... in real life, sometimes relationships come and go, right? Like, I don't mind if people draw me and my husband together. We've been together for 10 years. But it's like, it's stuff like that when people are like, yeah, not too surprised you're not getting a lot of fans. Like, they don't want to really show their partner on their platform if they haven't been dating that long because it gets weird. Yeah, the role playing with real people either kind of freaks me out. Like, I don't know, it freaks me out even more so because, like, if you did that and then you met the actual person in real life, like, how would you react? I would be so fucking weirded out. I'm somewhat Septiplier attached to the joke about it. See, when they joke about it, I think it's fine. I'm not gonna lie, there was one artist I followed. I did follow them because they did Septiplier stuff. But the funny thing was, I didn't actually know it was Septiplier because they had a really, really cartoony style. And so I'm like, I really love these, like, two characters with a red and green undercut. I think they're great. And, like, then I finally saw it, and it's like, oh, Septiplier forever. And I'm like, wait, what? What? You have been noticed. Oh god, yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I've drawn the lewd before. I won't say I won't. I have, and I will in the future. But, like, if I've ever drawn, like, a not safe for work version of somebody, I always make sure they're, like, an adult character. Or, like, in the past, I have drawn some of my own characters in some risque positions and things. But, one, I never did it when they were fucking kids. And two, they were my own characters and I didn't fucking post them. But it's, like, it grosses me out. Because, like, that's why I have to tell people that, like, my characters, like, Alador, Adrian, and Tybalt, I'm, like, the main references I have of them, that's when they're, like, 13, 14, and 15. They're kids. Don't lewd the children. Not when they're all legal adults, especially because two of them actually, like, get really fucking, like, hot when they're older. I'm like, okay, you guys are adults, I can do that, that's fine. But, like, no, don't do that. And, like, I see aging up okay, as long as you're not, like, drawing them in, like, iconic outfits or something. But then it's like, then at that point, they're a character, so who cares? Like, I think a good example is back in the day, back when I was a youngin', I loved Naruto Slash. I was a Naruto fucking hardcore fangirl. But I always liked it when they, like, drew them in, like, the Jonin outfits if they were doing stuff, not when they were fucking 12. And I was like, yeah, draw them when they're adults. Not when they're fucking 12. Don't lewd the children. I'm African American, but people say I'm not, and just believe me and make fun of me for being Indian because I'm. Well, that's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry about that, Vampire Nekowit. I'm so sorry you have to go with that racist shit. That's not right. I don't care too much about it. Should be. I used to care. Like, I used to be a hardcore slasher. Like, I was a hardcore, like, OTP for life, but I was never, like, I was hardcore for that shit, but I never, like, harassed people online for it. And I never understood, I still don't, of the people who are like, oh, I love this artist, but they draw my no TP, and I can't support it. And I'm like, well, who cares? Then don't look at that specific art. It wasn't made for you. It was made because the artist wanted to make it. Again, not everything's about you. For strong gel lines is difficult. I love drawing little kids, but little kids being little kids. You know? Ravioli, don't fucking load the lolly. Yeah, exactly. Like, again, I don't know. I also don't like force ships, in my opinion. Like, when shows are forcing a, like, okay, I used to think that when people talked about, like, the heterosexual agenda was bullshit until I saw the fucking, like, the Peabody movie. I don't remember what, I know it was, like, Peabody and Sherman, I think is what it was. but it was that CGI movie that came out. I really liked it, but I'm like, wait, why are they forcing this romantic subplot on his bully? Because she was his bully. She fucking, she was really meanly antagonizing him. And then it's like, oh, we're gonna just ship them together because they're a boy and a girl. And I'm like, what the fuck, they're kids. Ew. Don't do that. Ew. Like the SEO and shipping with Peridot. See, okay, so like, I love Steven Universe. Not gonna say I don't. I have my issues with it. I'm not saying it's like a tour de force of great writing, because I don't think it is. I think if you want to be a really good fan of something, you have to take the faults, the cons with the pros, and you have to, like, when someone acknowledges it, you need to fucking admit it. It's why I'm a BioShock fan. Like, BioShock has a lot of shit wrong with it. And when people are like, oh, but it's this, I'm like, yeah, I know. Well, so why do you still like it? Because nothing is perfect in the world? like, there is no such thing. People can at me. There is no such thing as a perfect story, as a perfect game, as a perfect movie, as a perfect book. There never will be a tour de force perfect. Ever. You can get really close, but there's gonna be issues. Because we're human. Exactly. I hate forced romance. Like, it should grow as time goes on. It should just be a thing. It shouldn't be forced. It shouldn't be, let's see. I casually ship to family like Monster Prom. Shipping is fun to me since... That's a dating sim, though. See, that's the point of the thing. That's a dating sim. Like those like the Arcana app. I'm pretty sure that's a dating sim. Because I know I see people, like, ship their person with the people all the time. So, like, that's fine. When the purpose of it is romance, and the purpose of, like, if you're reading a romance book and you're surprised there's romance in it, you probably shouldn't be reading the same thing. Again, an open guilty pleasure of mine is the self-published bad porn books on Amazon that's under $1. Like, it has to be a good book for me to want to spend $3. So I usually shoot for 99 cents and under. But, like, those are my guilty pleasures because none of them are ever good. They're trash. Toy Story 3? I like Toy Story 3. I did like Toy Story 3. I don't know what it has to do with the shipping stuff, but I like Toy Story 3. I'm not gonna see Toy Story 4 in theaters. Like, I probably, knowing, like, my family and my friends, I'm eventually gonna see it, but I'm not gonna give them my theater money. That's true, Armani. I can totally agree with that. But, like, okay. Excuse me. I'm a Harry Potter fan. Do I think that Harry and Ginny should have ended up together? No. I do think Ginny's better in the books than in the movies, because in the movies it seemed really forced. But I liked Hermione and Ron. People can fight me. I do like Hermione and Ron. I thought that was fine. But I didn't like how J.K. Rowling had to have it to where her kids were only happy, like, once they were married and had kids, because I don't think that's healthy. But, like, I don't agree with a lot of the ships in that book, but I still like the books, or, I think that's something that's really funny about, like, one of my trios is because, like, you see the, like, trio of friends, where it's, like, usually 2 boys and 1 girl, and the 2 of them will usually always end up together, and that's why when I made my trio, I'm like, they're just really good friends. They're really good friends. There's no romantic tension between any of them at all, because they're like, yeah, no, we're just buds. What are your thoughts on Teen Titans, the original? I mean, I loved the original. Again, it wasn't perfect. I liked it. The last episode fucking ruined me. I don't like Teen Titans Go. But technically, I've heard people talk about how Teen Titans Go is like more accurate to a version of the comics than the actual Teen Titans was. So, I mean, if that's there, that's there. So, to each his own. I don't like it, but people do like it. If people didn't like it, it wouldn't be as popular as it is, and it wouldn't have been going as long as it is. Like, it's like when people like shit on SpongeBob for going on so long. The only reason it's been going on so long is because a lot of people watch it. That's just how it works. If you keep throwing money at something, it's why we're getting a fucking Emoji Movie too. Like, if you throw money at something, you're gonna get more of it. But in that same sense, a lot of people are like, well, you need to support original stories. You do, but if the original stories are bad, then don't support that either. Like, I personally don't believe, like, if it's a guilty pleasure and you acknowledge it's a guilty pleasure, fine, go support it. That's fine. Because I do that. I'd be a hypocrite if I wasn't. But when it's something like, for example, the Emoji Movie. I knew the Emoji Movie was trash. I didn't want to go see it. I don't care if it was, trash for trash's sake. I didn't give it my money. But that being said, I went to go see the Meg because I'm like, yeah, fucking giant ass shark movie, sign me up. Teen Titans movies is a masterpiece. You can fight me. I did like the time travel aspect and how dark the jokes got in Teen Titans Go to the movies. I will say that. The jokes and the fucking dark humor of that movie did make me fucking bust a nut laughing. So I will agree. They went fucking dark with the movie with its jokes. That caught me off guard. A lot of its oversaturation. Cartoon art doesn't really have much right now. Teen Titans goes up. Oh yeah, no, exactly. And the problem is the fact that they don't have like they're fucking over their own network. Like there are 1,000 videos out there explaining it so much better than I do, but like the reason why a lot of media is dying is because they're not treating it properly. A perfect example, look at fucking Steven Universe and the Steven Universe bombs. Like, look what's happening. It's all happening because the fucking network. Oh, see, I'm excited for Detective Pikachu. I think it's going to be amazing. But I also know it's going to be a kid's movie. A lot of people get super, like, booty tickled when I bring up, like, you shouldn't use it as an excuse. I'm like, I'm not using it as an excuse. Using it as an excuse is like, okay, let's count how many times somebody does bodily humor. Like, where they pee or they poo or they fart. And then they're like, oh, well, it's a kid's movie. It's like, no, that's just being dumb. That's, like, lowest common denominator, of humor. That's talking down to kids. Saying something's a good example, fucking Dragon Prince. Dragon Prince, I think, is a great show, but it is a kid's show, so it's not going to go as dark or as gritty as an adult like myself would want. But they don't talk down to the audience because it's a kid's show. Like, I think that's a big pet peeve of mine, is that, like, and then some people are like, well, it works. It does get kids to laugh. And so it is. You're right. It is. But it's the lowest common denominator of humor. It's like Minions. I'm not filled with the live action remakes, but the Disney ones, those kill them. No, I agree. It's why I didn't go see Dumbo. And I'm not going to go see Lion King. I'm just not. Again, I'll probably end up seeing them when they're on, like, VOD or something, but I'm not going to give them my money. Here's the thing. I liked the live-action movies when they were different, okay? I liked Cinderella. I liked Maleficent. I'm salty they're making a Maleficent too, because I thought it was fine where it fucking left off, and I have no idea what they're going to do with the second one. But yeah, I thought those were good because those were different stories. I liked Beauty and the Beast for the aesthetic, and I openly admit I only like it for the aesthetic, because it is pretty much beat for beat for beat for beat the animated movie, to where, like, it looks like they used the same exact storyboards. I only like Beauty and the Beast for the aesthetic. That's it. And I can openly admit that. Dragon Pimp. Oh, yep, I totally agree. I am on the hashtag let Pikachu say fuck. Fucking, son of a Pika Pika. So yeah, like them doing Lion King, them doing Dumbo, that makes no sense. And it's not live action because it's fucking CGI. You know what's fucking live action? Okay, so the other day, a couple weeks ago, I recently rewatched the live action 101 Dalmatians, the one with I think it was Glenn Close in it. It was on Netflix, American Netflix. I don't know if it's on other Netflixes, but I was watching it and I remember being like, none of the animals fucking talk. Because I totally forgot about this. Like, none of the animals fucking talk. They didn't do any CGI mouth movements. They were all real fucking dogs, except for some really dated CGI scenes. And I'm like, that's a live action remake. Because they actually had real dogs, real puppies. They actually, like, trained animals to do that. That's a live action remake. Replacing it all with CGI and talking animals isn't a live action remake. Oh god, don't remind me of the Rugrats and the Dora shit. That's the shit I'm not supporting. That's the nostalgia baiting shit, you know, where like, because like I grew up in that time frame, and a lot of people are like, oh my childhood, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go watch it. It's gonna be trash. Yeah, exactly. I forgot about the Jungle Book. I did like the Jungle Book, though, because, again, it was different. It wasn't the same story beat for beat for beat. It was different. When you change it, that's fine, but when you're doing, like, beat for beat, what's the point? Like, I'm not gonna go see Aladdin. I'm not. I'm not gonna give them my money. And it's not because of Will Smith Genie, because I know a lot of people are like, it's because of Will Smith Genie. No, it's not. It's because it just looks boring. It looks like the animated movie, and I'd rather watch the animated movie. It's also why I'm not going to watch the live-action Mulan movie. Because even though they said they did change things, they're like, we want it to be serious. I'm like, but it's going to be a Disney movie. You can't go full-on Mulan epic and it be a Disney movie. You're not going to do that, Disney. You're not an idiot. You are first and foremost a family corporation. As far as I'm concerned, Star Wars only has 6 movies. So, unpopular opinion, I like the prequels. They're not great, but they're not, but they're not dog shit. And I think that's because, like, I'm not I don't have a huge, like, nerd boner for, like, Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but I'm not like, fuck yeah, Star Wars! And so, you know, people can at me, though. I keep saying that because I've been saying that in real life. I need to fucking stop. I sound like such a jerk. But fucking, I did not like The Last Jedi. I didn't like it. And the reason why I didn't like it was because they just ruined everything they were setting up. I liked, what was the first one called? The first one with Rey. The Force Awakens. I liked The Force Awakens. Didn't like The Last Jedi. Thought The Last Jedi was dumb. And I'm sorry, the entire casino scene was stupid. The entire casino scene was stupid because you literally did nothing to the plot. Except for show them that, ooh, woo, bad people are bad. Who would have guessed? And then it's just like, you ruined everything. And you could totally tell the fact that, like, they had all these plans that the guy who did Last Jedi just royally screwed over that they were going to do for this last one. So, I really liked Jeremy Jahns. If you guys know Jeremy Jahns, he's a movie reviewer. I loved his take on it. And how, like, he talked about Palpatine and all that stuff for the thing. And I'm like, you should go check out his video. He worded it so much better than me. But I completely agree with what he said, where it's like, yeah, you know, we just Oh, what was the thing in the trailer? Fucking, when we're dead, we're not really gone. And the fucking Palpatine laughter or something. And so I'm just sitting here like, just leave it be, please. Oh, that's true. Rogue One was good. I liked Rogue One. I don't know. I liked Rogue One because they had the balls to kill everybody at the end. Like, normally with movies like that, they'll be like, okay, we have to have, like, one person survive for, like, a sequel or something. But then it's like, no. Everybody's gonna die. And I was like, there you go. That's a realistic war thing. Everybody fucking died. Clone Wars was a good show. I didn't watch a lot of it, but from what I did watch, I liked it. One of my buddies, Masuda, is like a diehard Star Wars fan. He tells me all the cool Star Wars lore that there is that like they cut out of stuff. Star Wars equals anything with Darth Vader. It's so true. It's sad. Let fucking Anakin, just let him rest. He's dead. He's been dead. Just let him rest. Please. Please. But that's why, okay, like, if I ever make a video about it, it's why I don't like fucking prequels. Because there's no. When you do a prequel, and they have a characters in it that are living in the next thing, or the thing that you watched. Perfect example, I'm going to use the Fantastic Beast things because, like, oh, they're kind of starting to let me down. You know, they introduced Dumbledore to it, and Newt, when in hardcore the Harry Potter lore and history, we know Dumbledore doesn't die until fucking old age. Until, like, the second to last book. Or that the fact that in the histories, you know, Newt and Tina end up, like, settling down somewhere and having, like, a fuck ton of animals. So I'm sitting here like, well, I already know that you three aren't gonna die. Because it's in the history. So, see, because of that, I'm like, I don't have to worry about anything. So whenever there's, like, a moment, I'm like, I know you're gonna be alive because you're alive in the later shit. So, like, I like prequels when they're, like, so far in the future they have nothing to do with the source material. I don't know, maybe that's me. That's why, like, if I ever do a prequel book, it wouldn't technically be a prequel. It would just be another story and another timeline in my world. That would be what I would do. Because I don't like prequel stories. I feel like if you wanted to tell that story, you should have just made that one be the first one. Unpopular opinion. See, I'm also a reference whore. Dumb the Tegan. But, like, sometimes there's, like, being a reference whore, and then there's, like, it's like Waka Waka audience, Waka Waka, you know that thing, Waka Waka, reference, and then I'm like, okay, again, being a little insulting, you know. Twisted has now become my idol. Oh, thank you, making me blushies. Okay, you know what? I'm wrong. I did like the Hobbit prequels. I liked the Hobbit movies. I never read the book. Because if I remember correctly, it's just a book. It's not 3. But I liked the Hobbit. I did like the Hobbit movies. There's one I liked. Okay, another one I'm not a big fan of is when, like, you do a retelling of something, but you put it in modern times. Unless it's the really bad Leonardo DiCaprio modern Romeo and Juliet with the old timey dialogue, because that is just a treasure. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's a Leonardo DiCaprio movie of Romeo and Juliet where they do all of the ancient dialogue with a modern setting and gangsters. And it is amazing, and I love that movie, and more people need to watch it. So, totally recommend that one. How do you like Wreck-It Ralph then? I liked the first one. I liked it a lot. The second one was okay. I don't regret going to see it, mostly for Vanellope's musical number, but the entirety of Wreck-It Ralph 2 was just references, so. And I was a little ham-fisted with the whole, like, oh, Ralph is going to the comment section and seeing all the mean comments, and I'm like, of course, they had to go there. But, I also like that it was, like, Disney mean comments, so it wasn't, like, actual mean comments. It was just, like, rude comments. Oh, well, hello. Yeah, pandering, exactly. Like, see, I like stories that are inspired by other stories. So, like, a good example, I've always talked about this. One of my favorite book series of all time is A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is technically, it's an original world, but it is inspired by Beauty and the Beast. And, I think they said the story of Tamlin, I think. I don't know much about the story of Tamlin, but I do know a character's name is Tamlin in that. And, like, that's fine, because it's inspired by it. It's openly said it's inspired by it. And it has to do with fairies instead of, a woman and a beast. And so, and that's also just a part of it. It's not the main part. Like, I'm fine with that, because technically I have a story like that where it is a marked story. It's actually Samantha. Samantha's one of my, like, way older mages. She takes place, like, 5,000 years before the fucking, like, Tetsu story and shit. But, like, technically, hers, how I have that one framed, when I do eventually get to it, who knows, because I might do that one first, because that's a one-off when I do, like, eventually do the marked series, but don't hold your breath, because Takes and Turns is getting done first. But, it's technically where it starts off where my character Adrian finds my world's version of Beauty and the Beast, but it's called something different. And so she's reading a story within a story, but the reader, not Adrian, but the reader is going to read what actually happened, while Adrian is just reading the fictionalized storybook version of it, because that's how I always saw it in my head. So, like, that's how it's gonna go, so it's gonna have, like, in a way, it's gonna have two endings, where one's the storybook ending, and then one's actually how it ended. So, because I always, like, I thought of that for the idea for the longest time, and that's how I want to do it, and I think, and if people are like, oh, that's a lot like Beauty and the Beast, and I'm like, yeah, except he's not cursed, he's just actually a beast. Oh, I think was inspired by Hamlet, yeah. Oh, I already talked about the Sanic movie. I just can't remember Frank Beasley was supposed to be in front. Fucking Jenny Nicholson's video on Beasley made me die, because I forgot that movie existed, and I forgot it was based off of a book. It was so bad. It was so bad because, again, they just randomly threw witches into it. It's like, wait, what the fuck? Ugh. Oh, I've been streaming. Oh, almost 2 hours. But yeah, like, you can do one where it's inspired by it, and I think that's fine, but don't do like a full-on modern retelling. Or you go the exact opposite and you make it a sci-fi retelling of the thing where it's like, I remember, because I think, unless I fever dreamed it, there was like an anime that came out years ago where it was like a cyberpunk Romeo and Juliet, but they were also like in space. And I swear to God, I didn't fever dream that. Like, I know that had to have been an anime because I remember watching like 4 or 5 episodes of it and being like, why is this a thing? I already know how it's going to end because it's Romeo and Juliet. I have an idea for 2 Peter Pan-esque stories, both in modern settings. Not trying to do a retelling, just something like Peter Pan concept. Yeah, see, and that's fine too. And also, if something is public domain and you do want to do a retelling of it, go crazy. Go crazy. If I ever had free time, I would like to do like a version of Alice in Wonderland. This would be like way, way, way on the back burner because I have Ticks and Turns. If Ticks and Turns does well, I would do the second book in Ticks and Turns because Ticks and Turns it is technically a one-off. You don't need the second book. But I do have a book where it's another character in another part of the world that's just kind of like happening right around the same time. But it doesn't have, like, there isn't like a big overarching like save the world plot. Because I'm not a big fan of those personally. A lot of probably none of my stories are gonna have the like chosen one saving the world stories because I'm just not a big fan. It's kind of overplayed. I like character studies. I've always liked character studies. So if you like character studies, when I eventually get my shit out. But yeah, like, I have Ticks and Turns. If Ticks and Turns does well, I'll do the second one. Then when I have money, I'll work on Marked because I've already said how I want to do Marked is I want to have the entire first book done and the second book done and ready for editing when I publish the first one. So then I have an entire year or 2 to work on the third book. That would be my plan for Marked. Because I also there's a lot of stories I want to have that are in the Marked world. Like, I want to do a spin-off with just Ringmaster's story. Because Ringmaster's story could be a spin-off that, like, is a spin-off. You wouldn't have had to have read the other books to understand him. This would be his story. And then, like I said, I'd have the Beauty and the Beast one. And then I'd want to do, like, a book of short stories. I also have, talking about a lot of projects, there is a collaborative project I want to do next year, depending on how things go, where I want to do a collaboration of short horror stories with some people. And that would be something fun. I would like to do that. But, so that's why I'm like, and again, writing is my hobby. I don't get paid to write. I don't get paid for my stories. So if that ever was to change, I could probably do more, but that's what I have right now. But then it would be like, yeah, if I ever had, after all that stuff, I might want to do, no, and then I do have my kids book. There is a kids book I want to do that's like, not like, it would be a picture book, but it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be, not dumb down's a bad word. It wouldn't be a little kid picture book. It would be for probably like, I'd say age range around first to third or fourth grade. That's like the age range I would shoot for that one. Let's see. Sorry for asking. But any advice on writing? Honestly, if you have big magnum opus, don't make it your first thing. Like, that's why I'm more waiting for Marked. I'm not working on it until I'm more rounded as a writer, because Ticks and Turns is the first time I've ever written something that I was serious about. And honestly, writing is just like any other art form. You just have to practice, edit it. The easiest part about writing is the writing. The hardest part is the rewriting, the editing, the fact that you're probably going to read your novel 8 ways to Sunday and then have to change things and then read it 8 more times to Sunday and then submit it for publishing. So be prepared for that. Let's see. Gasp and Smash. I remember that anime. Okay, good. I didn't fucking like fever dream it. I think that's what it was. Was it Romeo X Juliet? Hold on, I want to look this up. I need to like look up a poster or something. Give me 1 second. Because I need to know. Yeah, that was it. That was the fucking anime. I remember the cover. That was the anime. Okay, good. I didn't fucking fever dream it. Hey, that's good to hear. I'm sorry, Lean. I don't know what this is. I can't. I don't know how to. I don't know what this is. Can I translate that? I don't know what it is. Yes, translate it, please. What? I don't know. Okay. Sorry. I wish I knew other languages. I don't. Hey, but that's good. I'm happy to hear that. Like I said, back in my weeb days, like I used to watch some really weird shit. I am sad though, because like one of my favorite animes is Card Captors, and I have not been able to like watch any of it. It makes me sad. A sad bean. What day is it? The 4th, right? Yeah. Sorry for that noise. I'm wetting my stamp. Because I got one of those fancy date stamps, and I actually paid like $7 to get stamp insurance. So if anything happens to this stamp, if I go into any Staples with my stamp insurance card, I'll be able to get a new stamp. It's a really stupid thing, but I think it's really funny that I have stamp insurance. Oh, you mean fucking Loveless? I hated Loveless. Loveless freaked me the fuck out. Like, I tried getting into Loveless because I remember, like, that was really big when I was in high school. And then someone was like, yeah, they lose their Neko ears once they lose their virginity. And I was like, the fuck? Ew. Yeah, I did not like Loveless. Loveless freaked me out. Which made me sad because I loved, like, Neko people. But then it was like, oh, you had to make it gross. Had to make it gross. And does anyone remember Pebble the Penguin? Yes, I liked Pebble and the Penguin, but it was a bad movie. I liked it when I was a kid, but it freaked me out when I was a kid too. So it wasn't like a good like. It wasn't like, yeah, it was my favorite movie. It was like weird. Because like I liked Pebble and the Penguin. I liked fucking Rockadoodle. I liked Anastasia. That's like a given. A lot of people like Anastasia. I liked Anastasia. I liked Thumbelina, and a lot of All Dogs Go to Heaven, because that was a Don Bluth film. Same with The Secret of Nim. Oh, okay. So fun, stupid, Dishonored fact that I didn't know, because I've been playing a lot of Dishonored lately. I'm trash, but I like that game. It's easy to blow through. I watched a video about like some like random facts about Dishonored. And in Dishonored 1, during the Boyle mission, Master Brigsby is wearing a rat mask. And if you look at the ledger, his name is Timothy Brisby. And he's wearing a rat mask. And I was like, I see what you did there, Dishonored, and I hate myself for not catching it sooner. I never got into Spice and Wolf. I know a couple of my friends did, but I never read it. Ew! Yeah, I never got far in Loveless. I read, like, a part of the manga and watched, like, the first episode of the anime, and I did not like it. Did not like it! Oh my god, I loved Wolf's Rain. No one talks about Wolf's Rain. I loved Wolf's Rain. But the ending made me so mad. The ending pissed me off. To no avail. I fucking hated the ending. It sounds terrible to say, but I wish they had all just died. I wish they didn't go with that reincarnation bullshit at the end. I would have been so much better. I still would have been angry, but I wouldn't have been as angry. One pet peeve of mine in anime I don't like is I don't like the legal lollies. I think it's gross. Cause like I'm also a Fire Emblem fan, and I don't like when Fire Emblem does it either, where they're like, "Oh, I talk like a little girl and I look like a little girl, but I'm actually 3,000 years old." And it's like all I can think of is that fucking Sandy meme of Sandy from SpongeBob, and it's like this like little lolly girl, and it's like, "I'm 20," and Sandy's just like, "No, you ain't." And I'm like, that's me. That's me. That is me in a nutshell. Because I'm like, you can have characters be older and look like kids, but don't have them, one, talk like kids, and two, don't put them in sexually compromised positions. Because I do have a character. My character, Siren, is technically stuck in a 12-year-old's body, and she is really fucking old. But I purposely made it so you don't loot her. Like, at all. At all. Because I think it's gross. And it's like, don't make them act like children, talk like children, look like children, and then be like, well, they're not actually children, because that's just creepy. It's just fucking creepy. And some people will try to debate me on like, well, it's not hurting anybody, I don't care, it's creepy. I think it's creepy. I have every right to think it's creepy. Oh my god, I never watched that much Hellsing Ultimate. That fucking happens. Oh, I'd love to see that. I love Tomo, the brown wolf. Tomo. What's Tomo? I don't know what Tomo is. Oh, I'll look that up. I want to look that up. Hold on. I want to watch that later. Okay, so I don't forget. Like, okay, another good example is like, so in Ocarina of Time, because I'm also Legend of Zelda trash. In Ocarina of Time, when you age up, this hurt me. This actually hurt me because I totally shipped Link with his little Korok friend. I forget her name, but it was the one with the green hair. And I feel so bad I don't remember her name. But I remember, like, because I hadn't played the game and I didn't know a lot about Ocarina of Time other than that Zelda was Sheik. That's like all I really knew. Was when I went into the future and I went into the forest for the first time, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see her and she's all grown up, and then it's like, no, she's still a kid, and then they're like, yeah, they don't age, they're forest spirits. And I was like, oh, my heart. But because they were forest spirits, they still acted like kids because they were fucking spirits. They didn't go bang each other, because that's disgusting. They're like plushies of baby animals. I want to hug them, but that's it. Yeah, exactly, me. Me, Julia, me. Oh, it's Born Sexy yesterday. Okay, I found it. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, it's got, by Pop Culture Detective. I'm gonna watch that after the stream. Thank you! And I don't like people who justify, like, lollies as, like, well, they're just flat-chested girls. Are you saying that flat-chested girls can't exist? I'm like, no, they can. I had a couple of friends in high school who they didn't really have much of a figure. They were very petite, and they didn't really have breasts or anything. But they didn't act like fucking children. They acted like teenagers and adults. And even though they didn't have, they didn't have big curves or big busty titties, they acted like fucking adults. That's not the same. Don't compare lollies to flat-chested women or cute boys. That's another thing I see that also creeps me out. Where some people are like, ooh, I want to be a soft boy. And then it's like, oh, but then they're 30. Like, I think that's also creepy. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, him! Yeah, I loved him. He was a good boy. Sorry, it's been so long since I've seen Wolf's Rain, I literally forgot all the characters' names. I know what they look like. And I know about I know about Blue, because I liked her, because that was a twist I actually didn't see coming, with her being part wolf. Can you lewd Peridot? I mean, people do. I don't like it. I won't do it. But if other people want to lewd Peridot, I guess, but they're rocks. And I think it's gross. Like, you do you, but I think it's gross. Again, you do you. I think it's gross. Sorry if I upset anybody who likes lewd Perry. I love Peridot. Don't want to see her naked. Because she's also a rock. Like, people seem to forget that the crystal gems don't technically have... I mean, I've drawn them with, like, boobs and stuff, but, like, for clothing, I don't give them, like... Yeah, I haven't... that is something I can honestly say. I've never looted Steven Universe characters. I don't think I ever will. Whew. Okay, guys, I'm probably gonna wrap it up in a few minutes, so if you have a couple more questions... I literally had a character who's a doll and has no chest. Yeah, same! I have a couple of doll characters that, like, don't have chests or sexual organs because they're dolls! So, Lucky Star gets thrown into the lolly debate. Never seen it, but they still act like their age. I've watched a couple of episodes of Lucky Star, and that's the style of the show. That's completely different than making them lollies. Like, they act their age. From what I can remember, it was like ooh funny anime, but they didn't act like babies. They were teenagers, which is why if I remember correctly with Lucky Star, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but the English dub they gave the like actresses like slightly deeper female actress voices. I think I could be wrong, but I like have a vague memory of someone like complaining that the female voices were too deep, and I'm like, but aren't they supposed to be like 16 and like 18 and shit? So. That makes sense. They'd have adult female-ish voices. So, like, that's different. That's a style thing. But because, like, if I remember correctly, like, everybody in that show was just cutesy uwu. So that I don't consider that lolly. I just consider that, like, chibi. Or what was the technical term? I remember my weeb friend said it once perfectly. The, moe. That was it. It's a fucking moe show. And I'm probably saying moe wrong, but... And for the longest time, I thought it was just mo, but I've heard people be like, no, it's moe. And I'm like, okay, well... however you say it. So, yeah. Okay, guys, give me some last-minute questions before I gotta go. If you guys don't have any, just let me know. You see, right? Oh, thank you. Ooh, that's beautiful. I love that. I love people who do funny, like, animations to characters and stuff. They did have deeper, mature voices. Okay, good. Good to know. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Yay, okay, good. I'm happy I'm saying it right. Alright, well, since that's all, guys, I think I'm going to leave it here. This was fun. Hope you guys had fun. My live streams always stay up on my channel after I'm done streaming, so... Love you all. Thanks for coming. Bye.